Galway are the third highest ranked team in terms of the bookies this year, and I think with good reason. Definitely they need to strike while the iron is hot. I think the iron is probably starting to cool down a small bit because some of their better players, as I've said before, are probably just either in their peak, midway through their peak, or heading towards the end of it. So I think they need to get everything they possibly can out of the team just now. They've tried a lot of younger players in the last couple of years, brought them in and out, especially during the league. Don't know if it's fully happened for all of them. Like, we've seen flashes at time from the likes of Brian Cannon, especially if we go back to that championship game against Kilkenny in the Leinster Championship of 2019. Thomas Monaghan with Mary, I certainly have seen kind of flashes from him. Ty Caron has come back in, saw him recently in the Walsh Cup against Dublin. He's definitely got something about him, as everyone has known for many years at this stage. Diarmuid Kilcommons was another guy who, like in that game against Dublin from wing forward, scored a couple of great points and then some other things that weren't quite as impressive. But Shane O'Neill has a fair job on his hands in the first year to take over from someone like Micheál Donoghue, who was obviously well respected. That would have been a big blow to the players, and especially like the issues with the sponsorship of Supermax and all of that miasma hanging over Galway. Much like Limerick and much like Dublin, with the whole kind of disdain of being beaten by a team they feel they shouldn't have been beaten by, and we're probably getting slagged by it as much as anything else. They just want to get back on the field and start changing the narrative from off-field issues to, right, it's all about the hurling now. We've a good team, a good manager, and a manager that I definitely rate from having seen him with Napiershik. And we were up close and personal with them in the club final a couple of years ago. I definitely think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. Just like Liam Cahill, though, that's the thing for Shane O'Neill. You're with a team now at a different level, done excellently with club at the All-Ireland level, but this is senior inter-county now, where I think you're dealing with experienced adults who know what they want, who know what professionalism is. They demand a certain level, and if you haven't managed at that level before, there's a chance that you might think that you're coming in really, really professional, but it might be a case that it isn't until you're in there for a year that you realise, right, my perception of what was the very highest level for inter-county in terms of preparation, analysis, all these different types of things. You might have thought you were at that, but it might take a year into it and you realise, right, they were actually used to a higher level and I need to up my game. So that'll be the interesting thing for Shane O'Neill. I mean, he'll definitely know plenty of seasoned inter-county players anyway, but he obviously would have the likes of Shane Dowling and a few more of that Limerick crew that I'm sure he would have been quite close to know what exactly they've been doing in the last couple of years before the Galway job ever came up. Keeping Joe Canning fit is obviously a huge thing. His form was unbelievable last year going through the league until he got injured against Waterford in that league semi-final in Nolan Park. He came back towards the end against Dublin and clearly wasn't 100%, no doubt about that, even though he got a couple of scores. But if he can stay fit and just hit the ground running from the start of the championship and get on the scoreboard to the same level that he looked like he would have done in 2019, then I don't see any reason why why Galway can't challenge for the All-Ireland. I mean, would you think that Tipperary wouldn't necessarily fancy meeting Galway in an All-Ireland semi-final and final and think that you're definitely going to beat them? I don't think so. Galway have definitely really, really troubled Tipperary in the last number of years, whether it's in losing a championship game by a point or winning one by a point. The team has showed serious cojones against Kilkenny in the Leinster Championship last year to go down to Nolan Park and beat them. That's not regularly done. Can they find a couple of new players? Remains to be seen. I'm definitely not overly convinced by some of these younger players, and like Sean Blahan is someone who could possibly make an impact. I mentioned David Kilcommons, maybe a bit early for him, but they're probably going to be relying on more or less the sort of similar sort of team as the past few years. So probably won't be too far away. Let me know where you think Galway are in the pecking order, and if you think they can challenge for an All-Ireland this year. Obviously David Burke and Conor Cooney will probably get a little bit of a rest after being with St Thomas's in the All-Ireland Club semi-final. Maybe Fintan Burke is someone who'd feature in the conversation. He came back from his cruise ship. Maybe they're guys who could make an impact. is it going to be tough for Cooney and Burke to come back in again after another long extended season and make an impact? Or the fact that, you know, I know Davy Burke was away in Asia for a little while, because I was getting on to him about an interview at one point for the club season, so maybe he's a bit refreshed after that. And if he hits the ground running, if Cooney hits the ground running, Canning hits the ground running, they won't be in a bad spot. But the other thing is, will Joseph Cooney, what's his situation going to be? Is he going to be in Ireland throughout the season? Is Johnny Glynn going to be? I know he's part of the setup even with the New York footballers. If it's a situation where it comes to the summer again and they're trying to draft in two lads that more or less live abroad, I think the optics of that are bad. I don't think there's any way that you can be to the same level as a player if you've been away for 6 months versus if you're training with the panel the whole time. I think people within the panel would definitely resent it. People can say they don't, but I think if you ask most people honestly, if they trained every night, 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, and they're sitting on a bench for a guy who's training on his own away from the panel in a different country, I just don't think it would sit easily. Now, people mightn't be in a position to say it, but definitely there would definitely be people who aren't liking that. But just let me know where you think Galway are in the pecking order. Thanks for watching Our Game. Don't forget to like and share the videos, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.